Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone out there on the virtual world. My name is Snake, and welcome back to another episode of A Coffee Break with Snake. Today, we have a very, very special guest, Gecko. Hello, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. First of all, I want to congratulate you. A Quiet Place, a map that blew up all over Rec from recently, and it seems as if the GeckoVR team has been pumping out a lot of sort of game maps and stuff like that. Where are these going in the future? Are we expecting to see a lot more of these maps being pumped out?
Absolutely. Our team is expanding one by one, very slowly and very carefully. We actually have a new map that very well will be releasing at the end of this month. And it's something that means a lot to me and hopefully a lot to other people. We really want to get more IPs that haven't been seen in the Rec Room world. Like, how many times has Silent Hill been done? How many times has Backrooms been done? I know that's very contradictory of me to say that because also Backrooms Room did 1 million plus. But we want to explore new IPs and just really make stuff that just people will enjoy making, because what inspires me to make these rooms is I have to make ads for Rec Room, and every time I have to go and explore, they want me to do community rooms. Every time they say, oh, get some more, cool community rooms, I'm like, which ones? It's the same. It's Marvel Hero PvP, it's all these islands or all these games that we've seen a bajillion times already, and I'm like, I want to see new things in the Rec Room to help it, grow and be fun for everyone else too. So that kind of pushes us to keep making more things for Rec Room. But yeah, A Quiet Place has been a lot of fun putting together, and I'm super glad it's doing as great as it's doing. It means a lot.
And as on the subject of controversial subjects and also the building industry, this is very, very controversial with everyone in the building department. And now that you're on the building department and starting to rise up that scale, what is your opinions on the RP maps and the costume maps and the ones that are low effort but get up to the top very, very easily?
BVR did a really good video on this, and I kind of shared the same opinion with him. There's nothing wrong with low effort maps. We've released maps that we've built in 24 hours, like Weenie Warfare, just a fun little PvP, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you do it for the pure sake of just getting subscribers or getting tokens, that's when there becomes to be a problem. And unfortunately, like BVR said, the algorithm rewards that, and it's very easy to replicate. So that's making it very dangerous, and I'm super glad to hear that Star Centurion confirmed that they are actively looking into fixing that and getting rid of that whole spam thing. So we should be seeing rooms improvements in the futures. Thank goodness. But yeah, I'm really excited for that. Hopefully.
And there was a wee word there that sort of triggered my neurons, or whatever you call them, in your brain.
Yeah.
I think I heard 24 hours. Which seems to be a big word on the GeckoVR channel. And I checked it the other day. That video is sitting over 1 million views and is probably one of the most popular Rec Room YouTube videos on the whole platform. That's crazy. That is absolutely mind-blowing. What do you feel about this?
So I had high hopes when I first released that. I really thought it was gonna do well, and again, kind of back to what I was saying with our building, this kind of goes for the whole channel. We want to make things that people have not seen before. What made me want to do the 24 hours was not because it's been done before in Rec Room 1 million times and it works, it's because no one has done it, and it was something that required a lot of effort and a lot of focus. So that's why I did it, and I'm so glad it worked, and that's why we built A Quiet Place. And we have a new video that's gonna be coming out really soon. That's a challenge. I'll just spoil it because I'm gonna get it done really done soon. Have you ever heard of the challenge Blind Deaf Mute? Have you seen that on YouTube before?
I have. I've seen that about the place.
We brought that into Rec Room, and it has been a blast to record, and I want to do more of that. It was so funny, and just stuff like that. We've all seen what your PvP weapon says about you and all that stuff, but we like to do things that hasn't been done before, and I think that's what pushes Rec Room to be more interesting and more creative for everyone. But yeah, I know, I'm glad that video did crazy.
So with the GeckoVR team, which you mentioned earlier on, I remember seeing in your Discord server that you said Volrix has unfortunately left the GeckoVR team. Why has he left? Why is it like a better job he's found, or?
Before I answer that, I just want to say you guys have done a great job with your research. These are a lot of really specific questions to the whole GeckoVR team, and I really appreciate that. You guys are insane, so I'm glad to answer this. So Volrix has been a huge part of the channel since day one. He has went from a fan to just a general moderator to an editor, and then he was literally standing side by side with me editing ads for Rec Room. Like, he has seen the whole process. Him leaving was on his terms. So we always kind of butted heads a little bit as editors, but in like a constructive way. He'd say, oh, I think it would be edited this way, and I'd say this way, but that's what pushes creativity and our skills. So him leaving was him seeing himself as a 15, 16-year-old. He says, you know what? I'm spending way too much time in virtual reality, editing videos for Gecko and for Rec Room, and he finally was able to join a film group in real life and be like, you know what? I can still edit videos and hang out with people in real life and actually have a life as a 16-year-old. And he goes, you know what? I think that's what I want to do, because he's always been trying to improve his life for the longest time. So him finally being able to say, I'm going to leave for the betterment of myself and to just, you know, keep being a person in the real world, that's what he wanted to do. So I said, you know what, dude, shoot for the stars, man. It's been nice having you around. We always have the door open for you if you ever want to come back. So he left on the best terms possible. But yeah, I miss him. He's been a great help to the channel. You could literally call him a producer. Like, when you put so much passion and time into it, you're not an editor for the channel. You are producing the content that comes out, the effort. So yeah, him leaving was on the best terms possible, and it was an honor having him to work with us.
And with on that note, Volrix, if you are watching this, thank you so much for your contribution to Gecko's channel. As Gecko was saying, the content and the editing that I watched had me laughing for hours on end, and it was your editing that made the videos binge-worthy and so fun to watch. So thank you, and I wish you the best of luck in your new career. So Gecko, just looking at you now, one thing that catches my eye is that little blue tick above your name, which obviously, if people don't know, it's the video partner program. Has this helped out on the channel?
The blue tick has not helped out in any way as far as content creation go. It's people still ask.
Okay, so for a little bit of context, what Gecko thought I meant was if the blue tick had helped with the channel whatsoever. But what I actually meant was if the video partner program itself had helped with the channel, meaning using the code, getting the tokens in, getting the money from the tokens, that kind of thing. But I was too nice to try and stop Gecko from talking about whether the blue tick had helped him or not, so unfortunately you're going to have to listen to a little bit of him talking about whether the blue tick has helped him with the channel. But don't worry, he gets into the main point of the question later on, so thank you for watching, and I'm sorry about that. That was my fault for specifying. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at talking, you know, I don't know how to...
I do have my critiques about his content style, about his personality. You know, I'm very open with that kind of stuff, and he's kind of been like, wow, thanks, man. So he has every right to feel the way he does towards me. So I recently just got in. But yeah, no, the tick mark doesn't help with content creation whatsoever. It's just more of a sign so people know it's the real you. That's all it's for, just for security a little bit.
Yeah, I was meaning more so, like the actual video partner program itself. So like people using your code, which you guys should definitely use the code Gecko. It's on screen right here. Using more so the code and the money coming in and the tokens, stuff like that there. Has that definitely helped out for like the business side of like YouTube and content creation?
Yeah, actually it made it worse in the weirdest way possible.
Okay.
It's a really interesting case. Let me explain this. So when the video partner came out in December of 2022, I think it was, I actually talked to Soulfox with this when I met up with him. It was life-changing. I'll share numbers. I made $8,000 in a month just from the partner code itself, not even including YouTube, not including rooms, not including ads, just that itself. And you get that type of cash from doing nothing. And it actually rewarded laziness. Simply being popular just got you cash, and you can be like, you know what, I can relax on the videos because the video partner code has got me covered. And it made things get worse a little bit. So I'm kind of glad that eventually less people started using the code. You know, you couldn't depend on the Rec Room creator code anymore because it was super unstable, and it just kind of just dropped to a nice, you know, extra bonus cash, not like anything life-changing anymore. So as far as content creation, it rewarded laziness, which was really interesting. So I got to kick back for a couple months and be like, I don't have to sweat about video production when I really should have been. So, and it's going down. It reduced from 10% of the creator code to 7.5%, and now it's only every 45 days. So, it's not something that you should rely on when you become a video partner creator. Like, I haven't cashed out in months because the income is so low now. But, it should be all about making the videos at the end of the day and not just a popularity contest. So that was a really cool, event that happened, a little experiment to show about partner creator codes.
And in most of your videos, or practically all your videos, I've seen one particular brand pop up again and again, time after time. I think you already know where this is going. VR Wave. They seem
VR
to be
Wave. Use code GeckoVR for 5% off. Yes, absolutely.
You heard it. You heard it here. You heard it. But it seems to be a constant brand that seems to be popping up in your videos. Is this like a permanent sponsorship for the GeckoVR channel?
It kind of is, and also it's with a lot of people in the Rec Room community. It's not just me. You'll see Terra, Soulfox, and I think even Slat has been sponsored by them. I've talked with the CEO several times. I'm on really good terms with him, and we're basically trying to just capture the entire Rec Room community in specifics. Like, we're trying to be like, okay, if you wear glasses and you need some lenses that aren't provided by the Oculus ones, because Oculus has a more of a narrow lens range, VR Wave is the place to go for all the Rec Room users, and that's why we promote it in our maps and our videos and our live streams, and just kind of keep it on the conscious of all the Rec Room players. And eventually, if they do need it, or if they do know someone that needs it, it's easy networking from there. But yeah, no, it was very intentional to kind of capitalize on the Rec Room market, which I think is cool. Like, this is one of the biggest markets in entire VR space, and it's a good company too. So yeah, it just kind of all worked out by design.
I've noticed that there has been a lot more YouTube Shorts being pumped out in the past week to 2 weeks.
Yes.
Is there a plan to either keep them on the main Gecko channel, or make a different channel for like GeckoVR Shorts or something like that?
Good question. You should have been in the RecTuber chat a couple months ago, because that was the whole talk of the show. You really should have been there. Yeah, though that was it. That's a great question. And we talked about this between Soulfox and VBunny and BVR. Everyone's kind of talking about, what is the plan for Shorts? VBunny Go, they were on this game a long time ago. They made their Shorts channel a while, but that's actually becoming an outdated trend ever since YouTube finally added, and I was hoping they would add it, the little Shorts tab. So no longer in your video feed is it your videos, your Shorts, and your live streams all blended together into a mess. It's nicely organized. So if you just want to see, full-length videos, it's in that tab. So Shorts will be staying on my main channel. And at first I was really hesitant about Shorts because I'm like, oh, I don't want to do audios, I don't want to do trends, I don't want to do that stuff. But one of my favorite things about Rec Room is rec centers. I'm sure we can all agree that every time you go into a rec center, you have no idea what's going to happen there. It is madness. It is sometimes cool stuff. It's interesting, or, it's a hacked place and it's just chaos. With the rec centers and my Shorts, it allows me to capture one moment and immediately work on that and post it, rather than capture 30 moments and take forever editing out a rec center video. So it allows me to dump out content faster and less canceled videos, because you have a lot of canceled videos because eventually they become too big, too cumbersome, and I just don't want to release them. So Shorts has been healthy for the channel, and I am looking forward to them getting monetized in February, which will allow me to keep doing what I'm doing for longer, because YouTube is not going to be forever for me, but it is what it is right now. But yeah, I like Shorts for now. They're cool.
And touching up on content one last time, the other day I was browsing through the GeckoVR channel, and you had the most popular videos, opening 50 boxes, stuff like Among Us and Rec Room, rec centers at 3 a.m. But one video in particular stuck out the most to me, and it was the most unique, and it was you and Professor Echo eating Rec Room foods and real life foods at the same time, which was very, very, very original, which is what you stand for. Original content, unique content. is there any plan for stuff sort of like mixed reality in a way with this type of content? Is there any more plans to release more videos like this?
Mixed reality, especially stuff like that, it's kind of hard to pull off, and it was only really easy to pull off because I lived in an apartment with 4 other guys, and another video we did, which was playing Rec Room with 5 people in real life, and we set up 3-4 GoPros around so you can constantly see what we were doing in game and how we were acting that motion in real life. And right now, Professor and I broke up a while ago, and it's just me living back in my parents' house until I catch my degree and finish that up. But I think for augmented stuff, as great as that is, did you guys see Chubby's video where he plays soccer in real life? Like, stuff like that. There is totally room for that kind of content in Rec Room. But for me, it's probably going to be my last bit for a while. But it is a really cool genre to kind of sneak into. People like seeing real life people doing stuff in game. Like, if you watch J-Man Curly, he always has a camera on himself all the time. It really does help with retention and interest. But as far as the Gecko side, that's going to be the end of that, and we have other stuff planned instead.
I'm so sorry about that breakup, by the way. I didn't know that you guys had split up.
No, it's fine. We decided not to make it public, just because we don't want to like make it the talk of the town. I've only mentioned it in live streams because if you're watching like a live stream, then you really care about like a YouTuber you're watching, because it's kind of on the lower end of the content side. But yeah, no, we tried for 2 years. We've had a lot of rough patches, and it just wasn't really working out. And you know, that's fine. So I'm all doing good.
And for our last segment, a new segment that we're going to be bringing in. Questions from Discord, which we have asked in the Coffee Break Productions Discord if anyone had any questions for yours truly. If you guys want to be able to submit questions for future guests on the show, the Discord to the Coffee Break Productions server is down below, and there is a channel based on a Coffee Break with Snake where we post whenever we are about to do an interview, and you guys can have your name and your question put inside the videos. So, Cursed Minecraft says, what was your inspiration to start your channel?
Oh, cool. So my inspiration was I had a lot of editing experience in the past. I was always the person who would like bring GoPros to like skiing trips or anytime we'd have a lake day with my family, and I'd always edit the videos back at home. So I had a lot of editing experience. I tried YouTube in 2016. I thought my videos were okay, didn't take off. And then finally in February of 2020, when COVID hit and I was getting sick of my job at Dairy Queen, I was like, everyone's gonna be at home. It's now or never. And that's when I started, and it was just all growth from there, and it inspired me just to keep going and going and going. So it was a mix of having the skills at the ready and just good timing with what was happening in the world, and a fresh market too. Rec Room was really underlooked back then. Oh my gosh, I was so surprised with how few views some people were getting. I'm like, this is like the coolest game ever. We gotta make stuff about this. So yeah, it was just really good timing and a little bit of luck and skill.
Alright, Irish Boy Jack says, since Gecko is going to be on a Coffee Break with Snake, ask him what is his favorite coffee.
Oh my gosh, I'm actually getting some today. So when I go to Starbucks, I get an iced caramel macchiato. Those are to die for. I'm a big sugar guy, so they're nice and sweet. The coffee isn't super bitter. Love that drink to death. Get it way too often. But yeah, iced caramel macchiato, really good.
And for our last question, Some Potato Man says, what is your most proud video, and how did you and Professor Echo meet?
So, video that I was most proud of, 24 hours, and I think it was the one I was talking about earlier, the 5-person in real life one, because that, like when you look at the editing project, it was so many camera feeds stacked on one. You have to manually switch like which one is active during all the time, and that makes it really tedious. But it was so worth it in the end. I was so happy with it. So the 5-person real life one was a really good one that I'm proud of. And for Professor Echo and I, we met back in like 2019, 2020, and it was in, what do you want to call it? GeckoVR. Yeah, speaking of Echo, it's GeckoVR. And Julian and I, Affinities, we were recording a video, and we just saw them being all weird on the ceiling, and they ended up just joining us for a recording, and we just kept reaching contact back from there. So we met in a totally different game, then came to Rec Room, and then split up.
Well, Gecko, thank you so much for joining us on the channel. It's my honor, honestly. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys want to see our other interviews where we've done with Skull, where he talks about how Rec Room Studio could potentially take the Rec Room port off of the PS4 platform, be sure to check out down below. Also with RCL Man, where we ask him about his whole circuit career, and he discusses how he may want to shift away from circuits and do a completely whole different genre of content. GeckoVR's socials and everything to do with this amazing man will be down in the description below. Be sure to check that out. Please check it out. I've been Snake.
And I'm Gecko.
I'll see you in the next one. Take care.